checking out my channel and for clicking on this video. My name is Nanette. I am the creator of Do What You Love by Nanette. I love making videos about succulents with a big focus on care guides and propagation. I always try to read the comments from my YouTube videos, and some of you raise concerns about using the right pot for their precious succulents. Does it have to have a drainage hole? Does it have to be a clay pot? How about plastic container and ceramics? All these are valid concerns. Choosing the right pot for your succulent or plant is largely a matter of personal choice. So why don't we dig deeper into this very important topic? Stay tuned.
If you're watching this video on Facebook or YouTube and you enjoy this type of content and would like to see this channel grow, be sure to like this video. Click on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell while at it so you can be informed when our next video launches.
Hello again and welcome back. I mentioned in one of my videos that I love using pictures for my creations. I also love using colorful ones and big bowls. Admittedly, the only challenge that I run into for having this personal preference when it comes to my pots is not having drainage holes. So today, I will show you how to drill a drainage hole, the right drill bits to use, as well as the right technique that you need that seems to work. So what are we waiting for? Let's get to work! So let's start with the most popular question. Does it have to have drainage? The answer is yes. Drainage is important when choosing the right pot for succulents because it allows for excess water to seep out of the container to help prevent moisture from collecting at the base of the pot. I really cannot stress enough the importance of drainage. This is really a big deal for succulents. Draining holes is something that I am so comfortable doing. I learned soon enough that drilling holes will be a normal thing for me, especially if I continue to be passionate about using decorative pots or pitchers that typically don't come with a drainage hole. Perfect example is this one. This is pretty. When I spotted this one, I knew I'll take this home with me. Not having a drainage didn't bother me at all because I know I can drill a hole. And here we go. Another example is this one. This is my second one. I loved it so much that I tried to look for the same kind. I found it. I purchased it and took it home with me. And just like I usually do, I drilled a hole. And this succulent is thriving in this pot. So first, let's find out what do you need in order for you to get this simple project done. Obviously, you need this electric drill bits that's specific for glass or ceramic. It actually comes in different sizes. So this is a large one. If you want something large, I advise you get something like this. There's Luther. I think he heard a squirrel again. This one here, a smaller one that I think is advisable if you have a small pot like this. Depending on how often you use it, over time it will wear down and it will look like this. The tip is chipped. To avoid this, you can actually go slow with a steady, even pressure, and that will lessen the likelihood of breaking. For me, protective glass is a must, and gloves can be optional. Today, I will be wearing them. Let's get started and drill a hole on this one. Please note that the drill bit can get really hot, so you will need to add some water. The water will keep it cool and obviously it will prevent you from breaking your pot. I already have a little mark in the middle so I know where to aim. First, you want to start anchoring the drill until you get a little groove going. And once you feel that little groove, you can slowly position your drill upright and apply some pressure. I don't even ask my husband to drill a hole for me because he's too strong and he broke some of my pots already. Please remember not to put too much pressure. Ta-da! Now we just turned this beautiful pitcher into a beautiful planter with a drainage hole. Very rarely I will come across a beautiful pitcher that I truly love and doesn't have a drainage hole. I will attempt to drill one and it was just so difficult because of the material. What I will do then is I will add some gravel before the soil so that the water can still seep in when I'm watering. Then I'll just be mindful when watering that this specific pot doesn't have a drainage hole. Oh, let me show you a glass bowl that I drilled a hole in. I have to say, the entire time I was drilling, I wasn't comfortable. I thought it will break. So now let's shift over to another common concern. Does it have to be a clay pot? My personal answer to this one is it doesn't have to be, but highly recommended. I personally believe that clay pots provide a healthy environment for most plants and not just succulents. The porosity of clay allows air and moisture to penetrate the sides of the pot. Then this moisture and air is utilized by the fine roots located at the edge of the soil ball. Clay pots also act like a wick to remove excess moisture from the potting soil. I typically use clay pots when I want to propagate my succulents, like these ones. These are rare succulents that I purchased from a nursery. So I want them to continue to thrive, so I will use clay pot. These are some of the succulents that I'm trying to propagate. I planted them a couple weeks ago and I know they will thrive because they are situated in an area where they get enough sunlight but not too much, and they are potted in a clay pot. Now let's chat about plastic containers. I'm not going to lie, I am not a big fan. But do I have some? Yes, I do. These are my plastic containers. I got this at Lowe's. They come in different sizes. This is the small, semi-small, and there's a medium size and a large. I know these succulents will be temporarily planted here. I will transfer them into my decorative pots when I'm ready to start working on my creations again. They're healthy. I love it. Let me reiterate, for one very obvious reason, I don't like plastic containers because they're not eco-friendly. They cannot be decomposed and they are non-biodegradable and causing various types of pollution and can harm an environment. All my plastic containers have drainage holes, by the way. Here are some of my plastic containers. I don't have a lot because, like I said, I'm not a big fan. But you can tell they're thriving. I am definitely using the right soil for them, and they are situated in an area where they get enough sunlight but not too much. 99% of the time they get repotted to decorative pots, which you are about to see. Ta-da! Here they are. I am very, very passionate about using decorative pots. I have a thing for pictures. I just think decorative, colorful pots are fun. Look at this one. This one as a whole. All these pots that you see have drainage holes, and it just feels so good knowing that their roots will not be compromised. Now, do you feel better knowing that you can choose whatever pot you want? No more looking at the bottom first for you to decide whether you will purchase that pot or not, because you have to make sure it has a drainage hole. It feels so great, right? I hope you learned something. Thank you for watching. I definitely want to see you in my next video. Until next time.